Okay. From what I'm learning, I agree with herbs. I'm trying to stay away from enemas and colonics unless it's like a dire emergency. There are some very good colon cleanses that I recommend that you take internally. Because does the prophet of the Lord recommend herbs?
Yeah.
Can we take herbs? Absolutely. Dr. Schultz has an excellent, it's called Intestinal Cleanse number 1 and number 2. Danny Vieira has the Almighty Cleanse. There's some really good cleanses. But yes, if they're backed up, that's going to affect their mind. And that will cause depression if they're not having bowel movements. So if you have to evacuate those bowels, yes. But if they get walking, remember, what are the 4 steps of getting to the root of disease? What's step number 1? Ascertain the what?
Pause.
Okay, ascertain the cause. What's step number 2? That's number 3. No, it's according to Ministry of Healing. Very good, sweetheart. See, out of the mouth of babes, unhealthful conditions changed. So if they're eating, now, if they're on meat, we got to be careful of taking them off 100% because she said a lot of people will go back to it. You want to wean them off. So the first thing to do is take them off the red meat. Take them off the pork, the unclean and the red meat. Get them to remove the skin. And then in 2-3 weeks, you can have them eliminate something else of the flesh. But unhealthful conditions change. Get them out there walking. Get them out there drinking water. When you do these things, you know movement will make you go. Absolutely. And what's good for constipation? Water's good, but olive oil, the prophet of the Lord says. If you put 1 to 2 tablespoons in some orange juice and have them drink it, it will make them go very well. Very well. Okay, what's the third thing? Wrong habits changed. What do I always use as a wrong habits corrected? What do I always use as an example? Should we stand like this? So that's a wrong habit, like this. And then assist. Then nature is to be assisted. So where do the herbs come in?
Number 4.
Number 4. Now, if it's an emergency, you go here first. But if it's not an emergency, you take them 1, 2, 3, 4. When they get that water in there, and they get the fiber in there, and they get walking, they're going to have a bowel movement. You get what I'm saying? But if they're completely plugged up, have them do this and do the herbs. You know, there's nothing wrong with doing the herbs, but we tend to mask the symptoms with herbs like doctors use medication. And we want to get to the root of the problem. Okay, so did that answer your question? Any other questions? Yes, Krishana?
What about like outbreaks?
On who? On who?
Oh, my daughter.
Okay, your daughter. Let me ask you a question. You're not eating dairy, right?
No.
Do you read every single label?
Yeah, we usually eat beans.
But I mean, do you read every label of every can you purchase? Do you read every bread label?
No.
Okay, the reason I'm asking you that, class, what did we learn was the number 1 cause of allergies?
Aspartame.
No, let's look at the animal foods. What's the number 1 cause of allergies?
Dairy.
Dairy. What are 2 ingredients that are derivatives of dairy that's in a lot of stuff? Whey and casein. Now, rashes come out. Now, is she having 2 to 3 bowel movements a day?
No.
Okay, she's plugged up. And what happens is, if you don't evacuate here, you're going to evacuate everywhere else. Because the toxins have to come out. So they will manifest themselves through the pores. Is that understandable? Once you can get her bowels moving, then the rash may go away. And then if that's not working, then you may want to look at lotions you're using and chemicals and stuff like that. But in most cases, eczema and stuff like that's from BPA and casein will cause those problems. And we're going to talk about an ingredient Sister Wanda told us about, betaine, B-E-T-A-I-N, cocoa something betaine. You want to start reading your labels of stuff you're putting on her, because that can heighten the problem, right? Yes, and it can cause a problem. But in most cases, eczema and rashes, it's dairy. Okay, any other questions? No questions? Okay.